You know, today I was doing some things. I went to the junkyard. Yeah, I go there. And I was trying to find a little cosmetic part for my car, and I couldn't find it and stuff. And so I went to the flea market. I love the flea market because the flea market you can find so many vintage things at such a reasonable price if you know how to negotiate. Well, I found this. It's a purse. And I was thinking, what could I wear with this purse that I have not worn before? Put it on my thing. Then I got to thinking about it. It's pink. I said, I just got me some Hello Kitty pants with a Hello Kitty shirt, and I'm going to wear it with my Hello Kitty shoes. And see, get it? Milk Kitty? Get it? Oh, you got to be creative around here. Well, while I was buying the little purse, I got to thinking. So I remember when I was I had just got in high school. It was the 10th grade. And the juniors and the seniors used to get out at 1:15, but the people that was in the 10th grade had to get out at 2:15. So I, got in school and got to thinking I was grown and all of that. And, it was 6th period. I had a 6th period class. So, this person hooked me up into study hall. I said, well, what is study hall? For those of you who didn't know, that was where you just sat in the gym or the auditorium, and y'all talked and played. It wasn't no class, and you just sat there for an hour. And then after that, if you had a 4th period, a 6th period class, you went there. You just went there. Or if you was a junior or senior, you was able to go home early. Well, I couldn't go home early because my mama worked night shift, so I would just go and, hang out at the class and and I didn't do nothing. And then report card day came along, Old silly Sam didn't think that, hey, my attendance was perfect because I went to school. My mama made sure we went to school, and if I got sick, she knew how many days we were sick, so she did the math. So brought my report card home, and I had a D in, I forgot the class. Please, y'all, it's been a while. It was in the 80s now, okay? I got a D in something. Wasn't a hard class. I just didn't feel like going. And my mama got the report card, and we used to lay it on the counter, her little nightstand, because she was asleep. And we're gone on about our business. Well, before my mama usually get up to go to work around about 8. She started getting ready at 8. She started doing some things, and then she had to leave work about 10 for her 11 to 7 shift. But this time she woke up early. She said, Samantha, she said, had them, she had them little switches, them little switches. I got 2 of them in my yard, but at first I cut them down, at trauma. She said, Samantha, she said, what happened in this grade right here? What grade? She said, you missed 15 days out of that class. No, I didn't, Mama. Yes, you did. She said, see it right here. She said, the math ain't adding up. She said, you missed 2 days out of school, but you missed 15 out of this one. Oh, I tried to lie my way out of it. She said, well, you know what? I got to get ready to go to work. Come on, let's been on over. And told me up. She said, now let me see some odd numbers. And that was the last time I skipped school. My everything matched up. Everything matched up. This is how I think of how politics are. We elect them to go to office because we think that, just like my mama did. That when we send somebody somewhere, we think that they're gonna do exactly what that's designed to do. She sent me to school because she wanted me to go to class and learn. We send politicians to our state and local and federal government because we think that, they know what we want. They know what we're thinking of. They know what we need to do. They know our community and everything. But what happens when they start doing their own agenda? Their own agenda. This is what we're dealing with now. Their own agenda. See, it wasn't about, like I said, it don't take mass deportation to have, to regulate the government. It doesn't take a lot to start weeding out SNAP people who are abusing SNAP benefits. See, they call reforms. See, what you do is you get together and you start looking at things how it is and you change it so that it will reflect how things are. Give them stiffer penalties for people who are abusing SNAP. Make it a little bit more qualifying for people who are trying to get SNAP and Medicaid. Now, as far as Social Security is concerned, that's a long, tedious out thing, because even though I may look okay, I have a real bad, rare skin condition that when I break out. See, that's why a lot of times I do my videos early in the morning, or I do them late in the evening, because, at night, I get it comes like a vengeance, and you don't want to see me during those times. I look a little bit funnier. So, and I applied in 2023. Here's 2025, and I still have not received it. So I got to go to the another process in order to be seen. But anyway. So when we send our politicians up there to do something, and they do things that are out of the norm, it's not just for us to sit and give up and say, well, you know what, I give up on the system. This is where we drop the ball at. Because when we know that they're in there, they're not doing what we're supposed to do, then we get rid of them. But how do you get rid of somebody when you don't know who the candidate is? When you don't know who he's running up against? You don't know who... Yeah, we could talk because we family now. See, a lot of people don't know what a person's platform is running on. We don't know what they stand for. We don't know what they're trying to do. We don't know how they're going to do it. We just elect them because they either been in office so many times and they running up against somebody, or we hear their face, or they've been in office in a previous office, and then they run and they running for another seat. See, it's a guy here named Vincent Dixie. He's running for Marsha Blackburn's seat, who's a Trump supporter. She's running for Congress. And she spews hate. She's spewing the same platform that Trump is doing. And I'm getting emails from this Vincent Dixie. Don't know who he is. I don't know. He telling me how to donate and everything, and he's a Democrat. Well, I'm glad, but see, I gotta find out. We need to stop giving money to people and find out their platform. I'm not saying that he's a bad guy. He's. I called his office. I found him and called his office. Got a chance to speak to his staff. They was real nice. I told him to give me a call. I said I expect a call by Tuesday because I know tomorrow's a holiday. Because I need to know his platform. You asking me for money, I want to know what you stand for, how you stand for it. And then he's already in the legislative. I'm going to go and read his track record. They say he's a good politician. They say he's a very kind and he's very good. He's been hip in the Nashville community. Yeah, but I get it. Like, for instance, when Georgia people email me and ask me for donations and stuff. And you know what? What's that guy named? Ralph Warnick. I went in his profile and I went and saw what he was doing. I saw YouTube videos and I said, you know what? Okay, I can relate to him. Yeah, I donated to his cause. You know, when I could, I donated. Jasmine Crockett, same thing. Yeah, you know, and I'm going to tell you something. Sometimes, you know what? We look at how a person delivers the message instead of you looking at the person that's bringing the package instead of looking at the package itself. See, Jasmine Crockett is speaking on my rights. She's trying to fight for my rights. So, you know, I gotta, Gavin Newsom is speaking for democracy. Now, you know, I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. You know, I'm going to tell you something. I don't want nobody to regulate what goes on in my home. See, for years, we've been, you know, we had these Republicans and politicians that say that, you know what, the Democratic Party is trying to get into your home. The government is trying to get into your homes and they trying to take your guns away and stuff, even though we was trying to stricken gun laws. Minnesota, with 2 kids praying in church. God help them. Where is our thought process on that? See, 2 children died just praying in a church. How we justify that? Well, the guy, he killed himself. But you know what? You know why he did it? He got mad because his girlfriend broke up with him. Well, the girlfriend didn't go to the school, but he did it anyway. Where's the outcry in that? And even though it happened in Minnesota, it's becoming a norm now. See, we get numb at it. We get numb. My thoughts and prayers for that. How do you tell a mother who sent her child to school to get an education and somebody walk in and kill them? Oh, you have my thoughts and prayers. When you can do is go to your elected officials who are telling you that assault bans shouldn't be outlawed, and say, hey, you know what? If you won't do it, we need to find somebody to regulate this, because see, gun violence is getting out of control. You know, Pat don't come out right. He go to a school and shoot up some kids, innocent babies. You know, let's get this right. His mortgage payment wasn't made, so he frustrated. So he go to a grocery store and shoot up some people. You know, he wasn't doing good on the job, and the job let him go. So what do? He go to the mall and shoot some people. People that ain't got nothing to do with his situation. Nothing to do with his situation. But you don't hear our president, who's battling his own. See, he battling his reckoning right now. See, y'all think he ain't, but see, you know what? They gave old orange guy some bad news that he didn't want to hear. And you say, well, why you saying that? Because J.D. Vance is telling you in advance. J.D. Vance telling you in advance, I've become a rapper. He telling you already that he's in good shape. But if he were to get sick, I will be able to pick up where he left off. Bruises, swelling. See, you can't eat burger. See, I'm gonna tell you something about as you get older, for y'all, you old, you folks. See, Medicaid ain't just for the non-working folks. See, when you indulge your body out in your 20s and 30s, some in your 40s, when you start hitting 48, 49, you know your body is changing. Your body changed. It's some things that I may look like I'm young, but you know what? It's some things I used to be able to do in my 20s and 30s. I better not do in my 50s going into my 60s. Used to be a time when I could go out dancing. We stopped at the Crystals, ate a couple of them Crystal burgers, or we ate Taco Bell. I got up that next morning and went to work, and I didn't have but 4 hours of sleep, and I was, oh my goodness, and I could perform just like anybody else. Then I hit 50. I eat Crystals around about, if I eat Crystals at 5 o'clock, I'm going to feel it all the way to 5 in the morning. Taco Bell is, I tell you, it's the Alamo down there. You get what I'm saying. You know what? I tried running up a hill. Wasn't even running fast. I tried running up a hill and my doggone knee almost gave out. I heard it pop, pop. Oh Lord, I had to hobble. You know, my grandbaby said, Nana, come on, let's do this and that, and I can't. You know, and then, you know, like my eyes are not as good as it used to be. And found out I got gout in my hand, and I think I got it in my left foot. I'm coming up with arthritis from, typing for so long over the years, over 30 years, typing. You know, if I type too long, my hands swell up. But you get the idea. You get the idea. And they right now, as the regime is going on, they planning and plotting for his demise. Because it's going to come. It's coming. You can't eat Burger King and McDonald's and all that for 20, 30 years and expect things that processed food and stuff not to take a toll on your body. It did. It has. And in fact, when you know, I can say this, I eat more healthy now. I eat green veggies and all of them. Because you know what? My body is telling me no. No, you can't do that. You know, you should be able to sleep all night. Can't do that. Hot flashes kick in at 3 in the morning, along with the itch and all that. And I'm just up. So, you know, I done found me a night job, I guess. But the point that I'm trying to make is that while we are going through this, I hope you ain't laughing at me. I hear you. I hear some of y'all laughing. But the point that I'm trying to make is that right now we at a turning point. We are all at a turning point. Now you can sit here and say, well, you know what? Government is going to be government all by itself, regardless of what I do. And it is. Or you can say, at least I tried. I'm going to be part of the solution than part of the problem. It's easy to talk about something bad, but it's more encouraging to talk about something you're going to do that's good. See, next time we're not going to vote because of our color. We're not going to vote because, you know, we trying to hurt somebody. Yeah, we could do that. We could say that. We're not going to do that. We're not going to vote. We're going to look at the issues. We're going to look at things and say, you know what? I'm not just looking at my house. I'm looking at the neighbor's house. And if you got a neighbor that you feel that's living off the government and stuff, cutting benefits is not the answer. Cutting it just because you don't need it, don't mean somebody else do. And we need to stop thinking that everybody that gets government assistance is trying to live off the lap of the land. Because I know a lot of people that go out here and work 12-hour jobs, making less money, rent and stuff is going high, and they need them benefits. They need them benefits. Yeah. Everybody is not trying to live off the government. It's some situations in this world where in this country where, you know what, if it wasn't for the government benefits, half of us would be homeless. Half of us would be like that. It's not the lap of luxury. And we got to start thinking that just because right now I may not need it, I want something that's going to be there when I need it. But then we got to look at it this way. Yeah, we do need reform. We do. We do need reform. We need reforms. We need a better reform, not to cut it off, but to reform it, make it better. Deal with things that, because I'm gonna tell you something. It used to be a time when you had to pay for the food stamps. See, some of y'all don't know that. You used to have to go. It was like for a $65 book, you had to pay $40 or $30. If they gave you $400, you had to come up with $300. It was just after they saw that people weren't able to get the whole amount of food stamps, that they made it where it was like that. And stop thinking that every immigrant here is coming to live off of you. That's not true. That's not true. History says that. It's a lot of folks that came here seeking a better life from not just Mexico, but for other countries. Elon Musk is one of them. He didn't tell you he went and got on food stamps. He told you he was supposed to be here for a minute. He decided he wanted to stay, and he worked while he was here. He did it illegally, and now he's who he is now. Some people, maybe take a little bit longer. There's some folks that's living in it's other folks that living in other countries that are United States citizens, but they still got their citizenship here. And they using stuff for migrants and stuff. So we got to stop thinking that everything that, when you see somebody, Letitia would I'm just throwing out a name, boy, we seeing somebody with a whole bunch of kids and they getting food stamps and stuff. I'm gonna be honest, I feel more sorry for her, but I do think they need to start giving a limit on how much the junk foods that they put in them, that they allow people to have. Because I have seen folks, kids, they got 2 baskets. You don't see no meat, no beans, no bread, no nothing. You see pizza, Totino pizzas, them jug juices. Come on now, we come on. Kids just living off of junk food. Then they go to Sam's and finish it off. These kids are living off junk food. And I think they need to regulate how much of your food stamps you can use for junk food. Some of that stuff they saying is not a lie. Some of the Republicans, what they saying is not a lie. But how they going about it is wrong. It's wrong. It's so many people, like I said, that, mortgage assistance came in when I needed it. That was from the Obama administration. We don't have that now. Certain programs that helped you with the flood or damages to your home that FEMA took over. FEMA is regulated now. So there's people who living in damaged houses, and you think, well, the homeowner's insurance, everything is going up now, because I used to pay $71 for my auto insurance, and I don't have full coverage. Now I pay $91. And I said, well, I need to go find me some better insurance. And I found out that everything else going up. Yeah, gas is going up now. It's $2.32. Now it's $2.53 here. We got to look at things as we do that. I'm not going to, tell nobody not to go nowhere and shop. You got to go and find, I tell you to boycott, but you got to go feed your family. I don't say make it a habit, but go feed your family. But that's what I thought about today. Why don't we make these politicians accountable? Oh, they being accountable now. Yeah, they doing it now. But not just now, when things have gotten this bad. Let's start doing it now and moving forward. Let's start doing it now. Let's stop, because people voted for party, hatred, and for other folks' demise. And you know what? And, my grandmama used to always say, if you dig a hole for somebody, make sure you dig that second one for yourself. I think we are in that second hole. because they thought these politicians who are running this thought that, you know what, because he won and he won so overwhelmingly, or if it was rigged and he won so overwhelmingly, that people was going to go along with the program because of their hatred. They were going to go along with everything they did because it was a hatred. And then when they saw the backlash of it, they saw the backlash. Many are not running. Alaska, she's not running again. The one that told you that, you know, we all gonna die, she's not running again. And that's what we need to do. We need to stop sitting here banking that people that we send to the office is gonna do our work, and we don't have to monitor them. Let's start monitoring from this day forward. Let's start healing this country from this day forward. Let's start thinking positive instead of negative. Because I'm going to tell you something. Just because you can't get on government programs, think about it. It may be a blessing for you. It may be a blessing. And those who are living on it, that have a crutch, let's try to find a way for them to get positive and move forward. Instead of trying to just hurt people because you mad. Think about it.